Start the clock.
Hey kiddies, Dr. Freedom here with you. Time for some Doctor Who news. Yes, word's going around Twitter that the Doctor has left the village. It turns out that the local news were reporting that Doctor Who is going to be there for at least a couple more weeks are apparently wrong. All the folks on Twitter, and this is coming straight from Girly Letters and a couple others, have stated that yes, they saw them pack up. They were finishing packing up apparently today, and they have left the village. That's right, the Doctor has left the village. So looks like they're finishing up on episode 6. If that's what's going on, then maybe they're going to get it done by the end of this week and go ahead and move on to block 4. More news as it becomes available. So if you were planning on heading down to Cosmiston, get a look at what's going on down there. Guess what? They aren't there anymore, apparently. All they saw today was some folks come back and finish packing up gear. So looks like that ship has sailed as far as the Vikings go. Okay, well. All right, let's go ahead and let's take a look at this little tidbit right here. Right here, this was put out on the Doctor Who Instagram page. Basically, if I'm right, the caption was, "Wouldn't you like to be sitting in one of these seats?" And this looks like what where they're taking a look at the dailies, the latest shots, and getting them ready, going into post production and whatnot. This, basically they're reviewing the footage that was shot. So, okay. Now moving right along, let's go ahead and let's get into the news. Let's take a look at it. Let's see what we got. All right, here away we go. Okay, first up, Jago and Lightfoot Series 9 has been released. This is over on Big Finish. If you're interested in Jago and Lightfoot, this was the combination of Henry Gordon, Jago, and Professor George. Was it Gordon or George? No, Gordon Lightfoot's a singer. But Professor Lightfoot, they first met back all the way in the Talons of Wing Chiang. The audio series is now on Series 9, and it's pretty good stuff, especially if you're into that era, because they're right around the 1890s. Which means they're right in the time of the Paternoster Row Gang. And now that we have Unit going to be showing up in a series on Big Finish, wouldn't it be interesting if these guys ran into the Paternoster Gang? Because that's right in the same time period. But like I said, it'd be nice if it happened, but until it actually does, we can only wish, All right, moving right along, cover for Doctor Who Magazine number 486 is out. I snagged it from over here on Doctor Who TV. It's also in a couple other places. Right here on the cover, Sylvester McCoy. These folks back there are Yasmin Bannerman and Travis Oliver. And this is basically the cast from Damaged Goods, which was a Big Finish version of I think it was one of the Virgin novels. And it was adapted, into a Big Finish audio drama. It's a pretty good listen. I enjoyed it. I heard it about a week or so ago. Be sure to go check it out. Also, check out Doctor Who Magazine. Matter of fact, the cover has been unveiled. It'll be out on Thursday, April 30th, which is, day after tomorrow, priced at £4.99. Okay, Davison on returning 5-ish Doctor sequel. Some interesting views here from Peter Davison. Davison told Digital Spy that a proposed sequel to the 50th spoof is possible if he can come up with a good enough idea, but he cautioned, quote, "There are two problems really in my head. I wouldn't want to do it if it was half-hearted and nowhere near as good as the other one, so it had to be a good enough idea. The other problem, and it's a fairly major one, is we probably had the best cast you can imagine. Literally everyone said yes, with one exception, and it's very difficult to imagine getting that cast together again and not paying them. I couldn't really ring up people and ask them to do a day for no money at all. Their patience might run out. So I did come up with a good enough idea. I'd have to then figure out a way of actually paying them some money. All these things are not impossible, but I wouldn't even want to go down that road unless I thought it could be better." Davison said he's still open to returning to the main show under the right circumstances. He said Time Crash was a very clever script from Stephen Moffat, with the 10th Doctor remembering the 5th Doctor, but also David Tennant remembering watching me on the TV. So it worked on two levels. But that's always been the problem with regards to us older Doctors returning. Theoretically, we should look exactly the same as we did. Of course we don't, as time has passed cruelly. If someone could come up with a good enough reason, then I would love the idea, but I'd never push it. I had never thought we'd get a look in at the 50th, and that was fair enough, I think. Boo-hoo. But oh well, yeah. I'd love to see him back. They had a valid enough reason in Time Crash for the age difference and all that, and why they couldn't have used that later on. Hint is beyond me. Okay, it was right there, readily explained in that little clip. Time Crash. They could easily use the same timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly, whatever explanation, and gotten away with it. But unfortunately, that ship has sailed. That's all in the past in fixed time. All right, moving on. Interview with the Ninth Doctor comic writer Kevin Scott. Dr. News conducted another interview with the writer of one of the Titan comic series, this time meeting Kevin Scott, who is behind the brand new Ninth Doctor miniseries. Scott first experienced Doctor Who during the Tom Baker era, but it was the early version of Doctor Who magazine when Davison version was contemporary that saw him become a real fan. And then he goes into this right here, just little tidbits here and there from the interview. Cavan Scott's Doctor Who miniseries has already been seen released, with issue 1 available online or at all good comic book stores and through news agents. So if you want to go read these, it's like got a couple of tidbits right here. Normally they have a link to the full interview, but I'm not seeing it, which is weird. Oh, there it is. All right, there we go. See, these guys are usually pretty good about that. So if you want to see the full interview, this is just a synopsis of it. Go check it out there at this link on the bottom of the article, okay? And remember, link to all these articles will be below in the description box, as usual, if you want to go take a peruse of them yourself. All right, Radio Times nominated for Cover of the Year. That's right, this cover right here. That one. Take a good look at it. The cover from the issue, which announced the arrival of Peter Capaldi as the Doctor, has been nominated as the Cover of the Year by the PPA. That's right, the Professional Publishers Association have listed the cover as one of the 10 nominated for the award. Radio Times was nominated last year for the cover, celebrating the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who, but lost out to Metal Hammer when the results were announced. So this year's Radio Times faces competitions for the big issue: Crumbs, GQ, Shortlist, Country Life, LN, Red, and Time Out. So voting can be done right here. If you want to go vote for this cover, go do it. These votes do count. All right, the winner will be announced at the Grosvenor House Hotel on Park Lane in London's Mayfair on the evening of Thursday, July 9th. So you got a while it is, but be sure to go do it if you want this cover to win, all right? Over in Casturberus, watch Delia Derbyshire, and Dick Mills recall the Doctor Who theme music's creation. This is a nice little short vid here. It's only about 3.5 minutes long. Be sure to go give it a play. This is a very vital piece of Doctor Who's history as the original theme music, how it came about, how it was. It's just a nice little tidbit there if you want to go take a look at it. Okay, the music of Doctor Who 2005 to 215, a decade of gold. Last month marked a decade since we were all sent cowering back behind our sofas when Doctor Who returned to our screens with Chris Eccleston's Doctor. Now, one of the biggest components of the scare factor, however, is of course the music, what with it being the 10th anniversary of New Who, it's also the 10th anniversary of composer Murray Gold's work for the show. Celebrating his momentous contribution is the Doctor Who Symphonic Spectacular, coming to 6 major city venues in the next month. So if you want to go check this out, here it is. I talk quite a bit about it here, and this is a page tour here. So if you want to go check this out, it's a big of a long one, okay? But if you're into music and you're into Murray Gold and all that, be sure to go check this out. All right, In the Flesh star wants Doctor Who lead role. That's right. The star of the BBC Three zombie drama will next be seen in a new crime drama from Darkness on BBC One. But looking ahead, Newberry told the Radio Times, "I'd love to play the Doctor." And this is, of course, Luke Newberry. People always used to think that I looked like David Tennant, so when I went out, they would always shout, "It's the Doctor," which is very bizarre but flattering. He goes, of course, In the Flesh fans shouldn't expect the actor to play dead again soon. It's about pushing my limits and working out as far, how far I can go. I think I'd be a fool to play just another zombie, just now. All right, Dr. Delia. Well, it's filming down in Wales. And of course, we don't have a determined air date as yet, but I don't know. Do you think they go back to a youngish Doctor again after Capaldi? It's a possibility. You never know. All right, 5 of Matt Smith's best roles outside of Doctor Who, and this is also our Occult Box. See, Ruby in the Smoke and Shadow in the North. Let's see, Christopher and His Kind, Clone, and Bert and Dickie. So if you want to go check out these little clips they have here and take a little read into some other stuff that Matt Smith's done, feel free to do it. And lastly, for today, Doctor Who Series 9, Rufus Hound's character is called Sam Swift, we find out. That's about most you're going to find out, out of this article. If I remember right, this is all based off that little snippet they finally released, from the run through or from the read through of episode 6. There's Rufus there. There's Maisie Williams. If you want to click on this and take a look at it again, here it is. Because if I remember right, this is the same video I put up the other day. Yeah, it's Rufus at the read through, which was linked to the BBC One site. All right, so if you want to go take a look at it. Also, yeah, the girl who died and the woman who lived, which are the two they were working on at this point. I think they were mainly working on episode 6 for the last week or two. That's the woman who lived, which is written by Catherine Trujina. And remember, she's a Torchwood veteran. I think it was me, Adam, and and a couple others, at least one or two others. I just can't remember off the top of my head. Okay. Keep in mind, this weekend, the Omega Files is going to be pushed back to 5 p.m., and that's going to be Children of the Damned. Sorry, not Children of the Damned. That was one of the other movies. That was the old one. Sorry, Village of the Damned by John Carpenter. You see, I got it mixed up because back in the 60s, there was Village of the Damned, and then there was a sequel. I think it was called Children of the Damned, and blah, blah, blah. No, this is Village of the Damned, where you meet some really, really weird kids who can do some really, really nasty things. And yes, Kirstie Alley, well, not as hot as she used to be back in the Star Trek 2 days, but she's there. Also, that's a good movie because it has a brilliant performance by Christopher Reeve in it, and this was one of his last performances before he was paralyzed in that tragic accident. Also, Mark Hamill's in it as a priest. So if you want to go check it out, sit in with us, take a listen, feel free to do so. Like I said, we're mainly doing these right now just to kill time. I'm working on some other things right now. Plus the fact, Doctor Who's not going to be back till September. So we're just kind of filling in. Like there's some other ideas bouncing around, like we might do an Arrowcast when Arrow finally concludes its season. Might even do a Flash one or just combine the two and have a little fun. I know there's a lot of folks out there wanting to do that. So it's up in the air right now. So we're going to be doing, I'll have to check out my lineup, see what comes after Village of the Damned. But enjoy it while it's on, okay? Well, that's it. Take it easy, guys. Catch you next time.